Hello again, I have another Gotek video. I have done several videos on the Gotek and FlashFloppy, so make sure to subscribe, or at the very least, check out the other videos on my YouTube channel by clicking my thumbnail. For this video, I would like to cover a variance of the OLED upgrade for your Gotek with FlashFloppy installed, where you can use different sizes of displays, and I will thoroughly explain the configuration options so you can set it up just the way you like it. Did you know that you can use a larger OLED than the 0.91 inch one that everyone seems to choose? Of course, the 0.91 inch OLED is perfect for installing into the Gotek case because of its similar size to the factory 7-segment LED display. But if you have more room, you can use larger screens for easier viewing and more information. The FlashFloppy wiki lists the following commonly available OLED screen sizes in 2 different resolutions. In the 128 by 32 pixel resolution category, there is the 0.91 inch of course, but also a relatively huge 2.23 inch. If you want more resolution, you can double the vertical lines to 128 by 64, and in that category, there is a 0.96 inch, a 1.3 inch, and a large 2.42 inch display. When purchasing any of these OLED screens, you need to be careful that they are I2C compatible. The larger ones are often set up with a different protocol, SPI. They do need to support I2C, and when they do, oftentimes you need to make a modification to their board. I will do another video right after this one on how to change an SPI board to I2C. I figured it would be useful to many other applications besides the Goteks, so making a separate video prevents them from having to watch all this Gotek specific stuff in this video. So check my channel for that video if you're interested. Also, check the description of this video for links to the different sized OLED screens that are available on Amazon. In this video, I will be using the 0.96 inch 128 by 64 pixel display to demonstrate how to customize your own FlashFloppy OLED screen. I like this size because I'll bet it'll fit great into an Amiga 2000 floppy drive bay with a custom 3D printed case, of course. I designed one and I will be posting the model files on Thingiverse as soon as I can. Because of its almost square shape, it has twice the vertical pixel resolution and can display twice the information, show characters at twice the height, or a combination of both. FlashFloppy has been designed to utilize the pixel resolutions in the following way. 128 by 32 pixel resolution displays 2 rows of text. 128 by 64 pixel resolution displays 4 rows of text. Of course, these rows are affected if you choose double height text, which we will get into later. The usable display is only basically where you see this sheet of protective film. So vertically, the display is somewhere around 16 millimeters, which is not twice as much as this, because this is 12. But this vertical size of this glass isn't exactly the whole display size. The display size is a little smaller, so it's more in the 10 millimeter range. You could look up the spec sheets and find out exactly what the specs are. But alright, so I'm going to go ahead. The jumper pins haven't been soldered to this, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And it actually plugs in just like this does. It actually has the same connections. I'm turning this on its side, but it's got the ground, it's got the 4 pins, it's got the ground, the VCC, SCL, and SDA. So ground, VCC, SDL, and SCN. And you can see here, we've got the same, it's hard to read it. Anyway, so all you have to do is hook this up just the way you do this. And it'll work fine. Sort of. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, here we have a garden variety Gotek in wonderful black, unmodded, except that it does have FlashFloppy firmware loaded onto it, 3.16 I believe, and we're going to do the same exact thing that we do to hook up the other OLED. We're going to rotate our cables 90 degrees and plug them back in, but staggered colors so that this side has the red on top and this side has the red on the bottom. It just makes it easier for me to keep track. So it's the same as the small one. You spin them around, you get them opposite here, red on the top of one side, white on the top of the other, and then when you put them into the side of this, you put them just like this. The only difference is that is actually now the top instead of the other, this one which it's on the side. This is now the top. Okay, so let's give that a try in an Amiga and see what it does. Alright, so we're going to turn it on and we're going to see what happens. That's interesting. The refresh rate of the camera and the refresh rate of the OLED are different, so you're seeing some banding, some vertical lines going up. That's what I see in the viewfinder anyway. So as you can see, this particular OLED common, the top several pixels are in yellow and the remainder are in blue. And so what this has basically done is it's taken the 128 by 32 display and stretched it on a 64 vertical line instead of a 32. So everything is twice as tall, and this kind of looks goofy with the two colors. But however, there is a setting that you can change in the FlashFloppy firmware that will let you change the resolution. You can go from 32 rows to 64, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So how do we get those different displays on the OLED? Let's find out. As of the production of this video, there are 10 display configuration options available. The developer of FlashFloppy is constantly adding new features, so check the wiki for the latest information. Okay, so we have a blank USB thumb drive formatted with FAT32 inserted into our PC. And we're just going to create a new text document, and we're going to rename it ff.cfg and get rid of the txt. It's going to give us a nag message. We're going to say yes, we do want to change it, and then we want to open it. Now I already have this set up, CFG files to open up in a text editor, but what you may want to do if you're not sure, or it might try to open in another program and you don't really want to do that. So you can right click the file, you can say open with, and then you can select whatever app you want to use for a text editor. So in my case, I have it already set up to open in Notepad. Now you will simply type in the settings you want, save the file on the USB drive, put it into the Amiga or whatever host device you are using, and power on the device. FlashFloppy checks for this file every time it turns on and will simply make the changes you specified. Now let's review the settings in detail. There are options to change the contrast, the auto-off function, the display scroll rate, etc. but I'm just going to focus on only the 3 that affect sizing and placement of the characters on the screen. The first setting is the display type. FlashFloppy actually has the ability to auto-detect most types of displays between LED, LCD, and OLED. However, it cannot detect that you use a 64 pixel high screen, so we must specify it here. I'm going to turn it on now, and you can see that now it's loaded and we have more information now. So I think the top one is the path, the folder, and we're in the root folder. And then we have the file name, and then we have obviously the track, the index number of the image, and the track position there. What I'm going to do is I'll probably take a photo of this and show it to you, because it's a shame that it's looking like that. The display order setting lets you specify which information goes on which row, and even has the ability to double row sizes. There are 4 row options for information: file name, disk status, image or volume info, and subfolder name. These are numbered 0 through 3. To be more specific, the 0 setting will show the current image file name. The 1 setting will show the drive status, for example ejected, or when inserted, the disk image number and the track number. The 2 setting displays the image or volume info, usually just says the type of disk, like that it's an MFM double density disk. And the 3 setting will display the subfolder name, or if in the parent directory, displays a backslash. You separate them with commas, and you select a double height option by putting in a D right after one of the numbers. For example, if I want the folder name on top, then the image name second double sized, then below it the status, I would put display order equals 3,0D, 1. That's actually the default if you select 64 pixel high screens in the previous setting. If you specify more items than the OLED can display, those items are simply pushed off the bottom of the screen and are not displayed. So because this particular 0.96 inch OLED screen has the first 8 pixels or so in yellow, I will avoid making the first line double height, otherwise it will have 2 different colors. The settings I'm going to use are display order equals 1,3,0D. This will display the status on the first line, the folder name on the second line, and the file name double height on the third line. And here it is, status on the top, folder in the middle, and a double height file name at the bottom. So the final setting that affects the text is font size, and there are 2. The default is the smaller 6x13 pixel character size, but there is an optional 8x16 pixel size. Here's the difference. Not much. Well, that's it for this video. Please be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And be safe. Thanks. Bye.